Hi guys, so you finally want to get the best grades in school. Easy, just follow these 6 insanely good tips. The first and most important tip is know your why. It is super important that you actually ask yourself, why do I want to get good grades? If you just want good grades to avoid poor grades and making your parents mad, well, that's not the best motivation for long-term success in school. Just take some time and dream about it. Ask yourself, what do I really want to do in life? Here, it is very important that you dare to dream big. Don't box yourself in. Do you want to get good grades to study medicine later, to become a doctor? Then you can start imagining how you will help thousands of people as a doctor. Just repeat this memory to yourself once a day. Especially when you don't really feel like doing school stuff. This will give you that extra push in the right direction to really start studying hard. Okay, on to tip number 2. Think long-term. You probably know all about it. Some students get a good grade for just one test, which feels great, but then they let it all slide again on their next tests. Just make it clear to yourself that you need to make changes to the system you use for learning to get good grades in the long run. Imagine this. You only need to go to school for maybe 3 years. That means around 100 more tests. In the end, it doesn't matter much if one grade is super good or horribly bad. What's important is that you make sure that your grades keep getting better. So, how do you get that done? This leads us to tip number 3. The trick is to develop good study habits step by step. It's best to take one habit each month, which you can integrate into daily life. Start with small steps if you find it difficult. What's important is that you keep plugging away. For example, you just tell yourself this over the first month. Alright, I'll try to always do the homework for my main subjects. This will in turn lead to your grades improving bit by bit. Then, after internalizing this first routine, you will try and do the following in the next month. You can, for example, make sure that you are no longer distracted by your mobile phone by turning it off in class. This will improve your grades a bit more in the long run. These tricks allow you to develop habits and systems that make sure that it will be a breeze to get super grades in the future. Okay, so even if you are in the last year of school, you can start developing these good habits now as well. They will help you later on in your studies or professional life. So you basically level up with each new good habit. Let's look at another thing that guarantees real long-term success in school. Change how you look at mistakes. Use mistakes as feedback. Just imagine you made a mistake in maths. The task was to calculate the side length of a nasty triangle and you got 0 points. Now you can simply say, damn it, I got 0 points. If only I hadn't made that mistake. I'm pretty stupid. This is a particularly crappy way of thinking, as you just label yourself a loser. It'll just make you feel horrible and won't lead to anything. Try and look at the mistake as an opportunity instead. Make sure you understand why you made this mistake. Then, just keep asking why until you realize the true cause and can find a solution to make sure that such mistakes don't happen again. Normally, you just have to ask yourself why no more than 5 times to get to the root cause behind the mistake. Then, if you know the reason behind the mistake, you can focus on making sure it doesn't happen again and continue improving your own learning system. So, what might that look like? The first why. Why didn't you solve the question with the triangle? When discussing your test, you will notice that you need the Pythagorean theorem to solve the question. Well, you didn't think of that. So, the second why. Why didn't you know that you should use the theorem? Because you still don't understand the concept of the Pythagorean theorem properly. So why haven't you understood the concept up until now? Well, because both your math study book and the teacher explained the Pythagorean theorem terribly. Just awful. Okay. Well, here we can also find our solution. If you don't understand the subject matter using the materials available to you, just look for another source, like the videos on our SIMPLECLUB app. Here, we explain each topic in 5 minutes, in such a way that you guys can understand it well, and quicker than your maths book ever could. So the next time you notice that you are not getting there with the materials you have, just remember, alright, so I'll look up another source, and that is another element that will improve your system in the long run. Great! So far so good. The next tip is to surround yourself with people who have the same goals as you. Your environment really rubs off on you. Do you also know people who are prone to saying things like, well, a D is not so bad after all, there are plenty of other guys with a D, or I didn't do my homework, YOLO! Well, this will influence you too. On the other hand, there are guys who are super motivated and who have already established good learning habits long ago. By spending time with them, you will slowly start to take over their attitudes and then drive each other to new heights. So it's important to pay attention to the people you surround yourself with. Okay, on to the last tip. Use the time you spend in class. Sounds dull? Only a few students really do it. Think about it. If you have to be there anyway, you might as well make good use of your time. So for you, that means get rid of distractions. Set your mobile phones to flight mode and wait till the break, or at least until nothing important is going on anyway to chew the fat with your buddies. Then, if the teacher explains something to you, make it a habit to try and understand everything your teacher is explaining. Try to follow their train of thought, and then make notes. This way, time will also go by much quicker than when you're just waiting for class to be over. Who knows, you might even have fun. This also applies to the assignments you need to do at school. Just remember, if you learn it at school, you don't have to do it afterwards at home. So okay, let's just go through the 6 tips again. First tip, know your why. Make it clear to yourself why you want to get better grades. Then, think long-term. Only then will you have long-term success as well. To make sure you are successful in the long run, you should internalize certain habits over time to understand that mistakes are feedback that will help you improve consistently. Furthermore, it really helps to surround yourself with like-minded people and to make the most out of the time you have in class. If you manage to do all that, these good habits will reinforce each other, leading to some seriously amazing grades. Did our video help you? Check out www.thesimpleclub.com to find many more videos to help you save time and understand exactly what you need to know for your next test. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.